Captain America, ladies and gentlemen. Captain America.
Real Captain America's on the bench press right now.
Oh yeah, Big Dan. Big DP in the building. That's Captain Canada.
Captain Canada, yeah, okay.
What's up, guys? I just finished up my 1 week of maintenance. So in 4 weeks, 3 weeks technically, I pretty much dropped off all my water weight that I gained back in December. So for me, I wanted to, I didn't track much. I didn't really care to. I just kind of went off, kind of just drank whatever, ate whatever, not a big deal. But I knew that, I wanted to make sure that I was going to be where I wanted to get back to, right? So far as my size, getting into certain clothes that I was wearing. For instance, yesterday I wore this belt that I hadn't worn since December because I couldn't even get it around my waist on my jeans, right? And my jeans stretch, right? So, but the belt itself was just too small to get around my waist, and I was like, this is not good, and it's a great belt. So needless to say, I want to make sure that I fit all my clothes. I want to fit in all the things that I like to wear, especially because I love wearing my slim jeans or my, small shirts, whatever the case may be, right? So for me, it was just a matter of like, all right, taking this little mini cut for about 3 weeks, dropping off that water weight that I'd gained. So essentially I went from being around 174. Now I'm back down to 167, 168. I've gotten down as 166 at one point. Then I got into maintenance. And I was sitting at about 2,400 calories for the week, and now I'm back to dieting, doing another mini cut for 3 weeks before I go back into maintenance again. The work is going to be a little bit more aggressive because I still want to be able to eat as much food as possible, but the work in and of itself, how much volume I'm going to be doing, is actually increasing. It's essentially the same program, just different rep schemes, different sets. So whereas maybe I might be doing a certain exercise for 3 by 10 to 12, this go around I might be doing 3 sets of 12 to 15 or even 15 to 20 reps, right? So, or I might be supersetting some stuff. So it's just to increase the intensity while still doing essentially the same program. So I've always talked about this before, about manipulating variables within certain program structures that can turn it into a whole new ballgame. Well, this is one of those things. Having the same exact program, but all you're doing is altering the amount of reps you're doing, maybe the amount of sets. Again, just by supersetting something, you're increasing the intensity of that workout, right? So you do that, and the program in and of itself is like a whole new ballgame. So now that we're gonna be starting that for these next 3 weeks, and yeah, it's gonna be fun. I'm feeling good, and screw it, let's go to the gym.
A slight little problem. The heat, something happened with the heat in the gym. So the one day I decided to wear a tank, the heat's out. And it's freaking cold as hell right now. So it looks like I gotta bring my own heat to the training session. I guess that means I actually gotta work today. right now. I don't know exactly why, but I'm actually at the tail end of my session. There we go. Now I'm at the tail end of my session. Tricep work, incline tape press. I'm trying to learn to like them. They're easy to do, but I just, and I think that's really it for today's training. I don't think you guys really want to see tricep work. We just did arms on Saturday. So that's another reason why I'm not looking forward to triceps at the moment. But yeah, I'm actually going to be, Guys, so before I get into what I really want to talk about right now, I'm in a boardroom and it's freaking like legit. I didn't even realize this freaking place, like, I mean, I knew it existed, obviously I walk by it every day, but like, I've been living in this freaking building for like 2 years and never have I been in here. And I don't know what took me so long because it's just so bright in here. And like, it's a really cool room to like do these type of videos. Anyway, so the purpose of this video is I want to talk about weight fluctuations and, you know, what your cutting trends look like, what your bulk trends look like, what maintenance might look like. Because I feel like we get into too many of the, you know, we get into our heads every single day, right? Like your weight drops a pound, or a half pound, a tenth of a pound, goes up 5, right? Like, and you see, you know, if you're looking at it from a day-to-day perspective, it might look like it's down, up, down, 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 up, down, 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 right? And then you get in your head and you're always freaking out and you're like, oh my God, can I change my macros? Can I change my program? And I'm just like, no, 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 no. You don't need to change anything when you're fluctuating. It happens. It's a biological response. Your body's trying to find homeostasis, meaning it's trying to find just that balance, right, of where you're at. And if you're dieting, I mean, you're constantly moving, right? If you're intaking less energy than you're expending, you're not gaining fat. Your body's trying to figure out what the hell's going on, which is a dieting stress, right? It's a hormonal stress. It's a physical stress. It's a metabolic stress, right? I'm gonna show you one of my clients' trends from April till today, current, which is it's February 5th, 2018. So this is almost 11 months worth of data that when you see, you know, how it looks, and I'm going to leave it on the screen for you to see as I do this. I want you to look at the trends. I want you to see everything. Okay. So as you can tell, so we were actually in maintenance in like beginning of April, and you see that pretty much all those lines are up and down, up and down, up and down, but it's pretty much flat straight across the board, right? Then when we started her dieting in like late April, early May, you can see, look at that, her first phase of fat loss. It is literally like the trend is down considerably. However, if you look at the plot points, you see how they go up and down, up and down, up, 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 down, up, 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 down. Like it's crazy, right? These are she's very good at weighing herself daily. I actually encourage my clients to weigh daily for a few reasons. Like one, obviously, it's a lot of data that we can see over the course of time, which is fine. However, if we're looking at the at just 1 or 2 points a week, it's very hard to see what a true trend looks like, right? Like, yeah, you could find, but then you need a longer trend to see, you know, a longer plot point, you know, more plot points, right? So the more plot points you get, then you get a better trend. But if you're only plotting like once a week or once, you know, twice a week, you won't have these type of fluctuations. You don't get to really see what your averages look like over the week. Back to the picture. You know, we get down to the end of her fat loss, which is right on the money because she got married on August 20, I don't even have it in front of me, but was it August 22nd? 21st? It's right by my birthday. My birthday is August 20th, and I remember it was close to my birthday. 24th. Yeah, I think it's the same day as my sister's birthday. Sister's wedding anniversary. I don't remember, guys. I'm trying to remember. But anyway, she got married, fat loss. And then after that, we went to maintenance. Why? Because we know that she's going to want to go on vacation or her honeymoon. She's obviously just dieted all that time. She's sure as hell not going to be tracking. But we just gave her, you know, some guidelines for maintenance. And as you can tell, like,
for the most part, she kept it pretty short. So that said, we started her bulk for around, now actually before we get to that bulk, let's actually go back to that maintenance, because we can see that big spike in weight. If you see that it went from like let's say that plot point's around 128, and then that one that there's a bottom dot, and then the next dot's like shoots right up, that's sitting about 134. Really, considering the fact that she just got married, probably was crushing alcohol and eating and enjoying her life and not tracking a damn thing, that's simply water. Because if you look at the next points, pretty much days after that, it gets right back to the beginning where it was before her, just pretty much before her wedding, right? So it's not a big deal. It's water. You don't diet all that long and then all of a sudden you gain all this fat back the moment you start, you start eating some more. Like, it doesn't work like that. And people say that it does, like, oh, you all of a sudden eat this and you gain weight. No, it doesn't work like that. What happens is when you increase carbohydrate intake and you increase the sodium intake, what do? You retain a little bit of water. No big deal. It's not fat. You're gonna shed that water. You're gonna piss it out. You'll probably increase your liquid intake. You'll probably sweat it out with better workouts. Whatever. It's water, guys. Water. Anyway, back to the picture. So then we started her bulk around early September, and as you can see that trend line going back up is a very nice, not terribly steep bulk or trend line. We don't want that line shooting straight up. We just want a nice, good, solid arrow. And it worked well, because then once we got to the end of the year, which was, so she went into that bulk for beginning of September, so we can say September, October, November, December, 4 months. We went back into maintenance for 2 weeks, and then we started a cut, and now we're getting ready for a show. And that, my friends, is how you objectively look at fat loss, maintenance, and a bulk. Trends happen, you fluctuate all the time, it's not a big deal. However, the entire goal when you're trying to accomplish some type of body composition goal is to remain consistent in the main things, the things that you can control, which is your food prep and the food that you put in your mouth, your training, and giving it time. Because the rest of the stuff is just gonna play with your mind, and it's all semantics at the end of the day. That's why you hire somebody like me as your coach. This is why you let me do that. You let me deal with those numbers, so that I'm the one dealing with the semantics and details. You just have to focus on what you gotta focus on, and you're gonna get through this a hell of a lot easier. And as you can tell, she did a very damn good job. And that's really it. So I hope that helps, seeing somebody else's plot points and their fluctuations, that like, look, it happens, it's going to happen. I'm not going to lie and say it doesn't, and it's gonna be linear and yada, yada. I don't have any magic pills. Nobody has magic pills. If they try telling you that, they're selling BS. Don't buy it, because what's true is you just need a calorie deficit to drop that body fat. You need to be strength training. Do a little bit of cardio if it's necessary. You do need to go into maintenance. You do need to make sure that you are not dieting forever, because you do need to relieve yourself of metabolic, hormonal, and physical stress. So that's cutting back on your training, that's increasing your calories, that's not doing a crap ton of activity to a certain extent. Basically giving your body a break before you hit that next whatever. And same thing when it comes to bulking. Like, you can't bulk forever. I mean, I wish we could, right? Like, you just want to be able to eat and not have to diet, and you can put on all this muscle and not have any fat, but it doesn't work like that. So same thing is with a bulk. You do it for a bit, you try not, because the whole point, because when you're in a surplus, you will gain body fat, so you want to make sure that you eliminate that as much as possible. And or you try to keep it, you don't try to eliminate it, you just try to minimize it. So in a bulk, you want to put on as much lean mass as possible without putting as much fat mass, okay? And that's why you have to take breaks when you're bulking as well, and you have to diet, and that's why it's always a cycle. Cut, maintenance, bulk, maintenance, cut, maintenance, bulk. You're constantly going between, and you're always trying to maintain at least that newfound physique, newfound muscle, etc. during each part, because that's how every phase builds on to the previous phase. Yes. If you like this, hit that like button. If you have any questions, comment, share this, subscribe to the channel.